Uh, it's 8:30. We would like to start on time so that we can end on time. I'll mute everybody so that there's no disturbances coming up. And you may have to unmute yourself. Just sit in a meditative position, either on a chair or on the floor. Keep your eyes closed. Relax your body. Just become receptive to the vibrations of the sound of conch as I blow it. Get ready to chant mantra Om 3 times. Make your sankalpa. Give me a minute. Hello? Hello? Make your sankalpa. I am chanting Om, creating a protective energy field around me that keeps me protected from all external negative influences, antibodies, and viruses. Take a deep breath in for Om mantra. Just continue to be in meditative position as we chant the peace invocations. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamaditamastु Ma Vidishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari. So very good morning to everybody and a warm welcome to this wonderful webinar that we have organized for you, continuing our efforts to spread the message of Hanna Somatics and the benefits of Hanna Somatics to more and more people in India. At the outset, let me welcome my dear teacher, Eleanor, and I also take special pleasure in inviting my classmate and fellow student in the Hanna Somatics course, Linda, who has joined us from the US. Welcome to both of you, taking your time off. It's an odd hour for you. Thank you very much. You have already been introduced to Eleanor and her background, but I would like to add on to it with some of my own personal experiences with Eleanor as a person. First of all, Eleanor is a multifaceted personality, and I always keep wondering how she's able to manage so much in her life. She is a specialist in Somatics, having founded the Novato Institute jointly with her late husband, Dr. Thomas Hanna, under whose name the Hanna Somatics name is given. She's a specialist in biofeedback. She's a specialist in neuroanatomy. She's a qualified yoga teacher. She was the past president of the International Association of Yoga Therapy. And she conducts a very well-recognized somatic yoga program in the United States, including a teacher's training for somatic yoga. She's deep into meditational practices, and she brings all this knowledge into everything that she touches, into everything that she does. A very warm hearted person who likes to reach out and help people. And whatever we are doing is also a part of that characteristic of Eleanor, to try and reach out to people and help them recover from their problems. So that's why she's going out of her way to support me in spreading the knowledge about Hanna Somatics as much as we can in India. She is a mentor for me, a friend, philosopher, and a guide. And I keep going back to her and again whenever I need any support. Some of you who have been working with us on Somatics would be already familiar with Eleanor as a person, because when I cannot handle the situation, I always suggest that we go back to Eleanor for guidance, and she has been always there joining in and supporting and helping the person go to the next level of advancement where I get stranded or stuck. She is an epitome of what we try to propagate in Somatics. That age is a myth altogether. You can be as efficient as you can at any age if you just put in certain simple practices. And she's a living example of that. I'm always astounded at the sharpness with which, even on a Zoom call, she can pick out points when she is trying to help people and then immediately start guiding them into the actions that can release them. So such is the personality who has consented to help us spread Somatics. And whatever we have seen in the limited practices that we have spread within the country, the results are amazing for us. Multiple people who have participated so far have benefited, recovered from the problems. Some of the best cases have been somebody with acute fibromyalgia and acute problems all over the body, completely out of it. Two kids who are having knee and thigh problem, completely out of it. One person who is of my age group, my classmate, who was on a spinal injections for nearly 3 years. She had to take the injections every day, is now completely out of that injection, has now come down from injections to tablets. And she was originally classified medically as a high risk personality, and now she has been classified as low risk with respect to that spinal problem. So that's the kind of changes we have had. And then we have had many people who have recovered from shoulder pain, low back pain, etc. People who have benefited have now in turn spreading the message to others, asking them to experiment with Somatics. And so slowly, this concept is gaining that you don't have to take everything lying down. You don't have to necessarily go by everything that the doctor tells you that this is incurable. You can at least experiment with Somatics, and many times you find that you actually benefit from it very substantially. Eleanor, when she introduces the concept, will tell you where Somatics will work wonderfully, in which cases Somatics will not work, and we recognize that. And in such cases, we are frank enough to tell the person that they should look for other alternatives. So that also you must know that it is not a one magic solution that will solve everything. And before I actually hand over the platform to Eleanor, as per our practice, we normally invite one or two of our participants who have undergone some benefit to share their feedback. So today we have one participant who will share the feedback. Tomorrow we'll have another participant towards the end. So let me invite Rati to share her experiences. Rati is a yoga teacher herself, and she has been attending almost all my seminars. She attended the 2 months Somatics course that we did, and then when she was at a particular point in great pain, she literally on SOS basis came out and sought help, and she'll share her experiences in her own words. Rati, over to you.
Hi, thank you. Actually, when one is in pain, I feel that one cannot work on oneself. So you always need kind of external help. So I had this supraspinatus tendonitis and with a small muscle tear. So I was told that I have to take steroid injection, and whatever I was trying was not working out for me. And then I was feeling mentally also very stressed that I'm not able to. So it was 3 weeks gone down before I contacted Deepak. So then I called him and I said, listen, I have this huge problem. I'm not able to use and it was my right hand, not even my left hand. So that was getting very difficult for me. So he said, okay, we can try. So he never said, okay, I'm going to show a short cure. He said, okay, let's try it out. So it's fixed up an appointment with him. And in that one session I had with him, that's all. I had just one session. And I was crying like a baby in that whole session. And I was in so much of pain. So I thought I was crying out of pain that was happening to me. But actually, when I was doing, there was no pain. But I just couldn't stop crying. I just cried throughout the session. And after that, I zoned out on him and he called me. He sent me a message after I think a week and he said, what's happening? Do you need another session? So I told him, no, I don't need any other session. After that day, it just took 24 hours before I started comfortably using my hand. And within a week, I was back to doing everything normal. But I couldn't stop crying in that session. I had this 40 minutes of crying session with him and while doing that. So it was like I don't know, catharsis or something that came out from inside. And then he explained me later that it happens. There's something stuck which you are not able to see or realize, and that has caused that. So uh, it was 3 weeks of pain, and doctors told me nothing we can do about it. Either you can remain in pain for 8 months and let it heal slowly, or you come and take steroid injections. So that was my only solution before I called them. So thank you, Anna, and thanks, Amish, so much.
Thank you. Eleanor, you can unmute. Over to you. Take the floor. And as we say in India, once the guru takes over, the shishya exits from the scene. So I will also, as you can see, I'm also ready with my mat, ready to lie down when Eleanor starts instructing. Eleanor, over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Ramesh. It is such a great honor to be able to participate with Ramesh in working with you all and sharing this work with you, because it can be so helpful, not only for you, but family members and friends and anybody who comes up to you and says, my shoulder's hurting. And you can share with them some of the things that you've learned, and it can make a big difference right away. So I just love working with Ramesh, and I love the individuals that we work with together. I love those sessions. I love our webinars. I love coming to know you and hearing from Ramesh some of the changes that you've experienced. So it's not really miraculous, but it's the next best thing to being miraculous. So I'm going to share with you some of the principles. I also look forward to hearing from more of you about what your experiences were like with Ramesh and with the classes that you've taken, because that's part of the fun of it. Part of the fun, part of the excitement, part of the joy is experiencing the changes that are possible for people who try this. And Ramesh was talking about when it doesn't work. The main time it doesn't work is if the person is not receptive. That's the main time it doesn't work. You have to be receptive. You have to be willing to give it a chance, and then you're ready to receive it. So what this work does is help you take control of those muscles that might be out of your control, and therefore you are contributing to your pain. Your body and your posture and how it's moving can set you up for pain, but that can be changed really quite quickly. And that's what this is all about. And when you learn the principles, you can be your own somatic educator. So this work is based on some of the natural tendencies that humans and other animals have to contract certain muscles, like a yawn and a stretch is contracting certain muscles and then decontracting them. So one of the things that we do is start with an assessment. This evening, we're just going to talk about all the things you can do with your whole somatic being, all the exercises for your complete body. But when Ramesh and I are working with you, we start out by assessing what's going on. And then the session is tailored to your needs. So there's certain things that are done, but it's particularly designed for you. So when you have a muscle that is staying contracted, one of the things that you experience is you can't move very well. So you may have heard of a frozen shoulder. It's a shoulder that doesn't move very well. It doesn't move very well because certain muscles are contracted and they don't let the other muscles contract. But they do all contract. And then they fight each other. So you cannot move in this direction, can't move that direction, can't move that direction. But it all can be freed. You can be able to move again when it's like a puzzle, it's solving the puzzle. So let's practice a little bit. Let's take your arm and your arm muscle, and you can touch it to see how contracted it is or it isn't. And then if you will bend your arm and maybe put your other hand up so your hand can press on the arm that we're contracting, press on it, it contracts a little more, then you're going to let that go a little bit. Let your hand come down a little bit, come up and press your hand again with your hand, with your wrist, come out of it a little more, push up, come out of it a little more. And after you've done that several times, if you touch your muscle, you will find that it is not as tight as it was. So how many of you discovered that your arm muscle was not as tight anymore? After you did this and you feel it again, what does it feel like? Right? Put your thumb up if you have found it changed following doing that. So just hold your thumb up for me. Great. Yes, and you can do that with any muscle practically in your whole body. So we're going to work with, first of all, we're going to work with our necks and shoulders. So I'm going to guide you in some simple movements that you can change the contraction levels of your necks and shoulders. So first of all, touch your shoulder to see how tight it might be. Now it might be tight. Anju, is yours tight? Can you feel it tight, a little tight? Yeah, a little tight. And that means that the muscle's being contracted over and over again, and you're not doing it. It's being done for you by deep parts of your brain. So we're going to change that. So the first one is turn your head to the left. Tilt your head back toward your right shoulder. Take your right shoulder up toward the back of your head, and then slowly let your head come forward, and your right shoulder slowly goes down. And so keep your head turned to the left. You're going to stay there for a little while and work with your right shoulder. So tilt your head back again, take your right shoulder up, take your head forward, and your shoulder comes down. Okay, where heads are turned to the left, tilt your head back, take your right shoulder up, let your head come forward, and your right shoulder goes down. Now it might feel like it's going down a little farther than it was before. So we are resetting the resting level of your muscle, your upper trapezius muscle. Okay, let's do the other side. Turn your head to the right, Tilt your head back toward the left shoulder. Take the left shoulder up. Let your head come forward and your shoulder comes down. Tilt your head back. Take your left shoulder up. Let your head come forward and your shoulder comes down. Tilt your head back. Take your left shoulder up. Let your head come forward and your shoulder goes down. Okay, so you can touch your shoulder again. Let's touch your right shoulder and see if you made a difference. Is it a little bouncier to the touch than it was before? How are your shoulders? So there are several muscles in that area. We have only worked with one of them now. So let's work with another one. There are two muscles that hold your shoulders up, only two. And when they are tight, when those muscles are contracted, they will be recontracted over and over again. And it takes a lot of work to keep them contracted. And they're holding your arms up, and your arms don't need to be held up. They can rest on your rib cage. So let's work with the other muscle that holds your shoulders up. So turn your head to the right, tilt your head to the right, take your right shoulder up towards your ear, tilt your head back, let your head come forward, back to the middle, and your shoulder comes down. So let your shoulders slowly come back down. Turn your head to the right, tilt to the right, take your right shoulder up towards your ear, tilt your head back, let your head come forward, back to the center, your shoulder comes down. One more time. Turn your head to the right, tilt to the right, right shoulder up towards your ear, tilt your head back, let your head come forward, back to the center, your shoulder comes down. Okay. So your shoulder again may feel lower than it was before because it's not being held up by tight muscles. So turn your head to the left, tilt your head to the left, take your left shoulder up towards your ear, tilt your head back, bring your head forward, back to the center, shoulder comes down. Turn your head to the left, tilt to the left, left shoulder up towards your ear, tilt your head back, bring your head forward, back to the middle, your shoulder comes down. Letting go, just let your shoulders relax. Now, Radhi had an experience with her supraspinatus. We just worked with the upper trapezius. Underneath the upper trapezius is your supraspinatus, and it can get very tight. It can get very painful. It can cause various difficulties, but you can release it quite quickly. So reach around with your left hand, come back on your shoulder, behind your shoulder, there's kind of a ridge or a spine coming across. That is the spine of the shoulder blade. If you let your fingers come in front of that, you will have your fingers on your supraspinatus. And the supraspinatus is very important. It is a muscle that pulls your arm bone up into your shoulder joint so that you can pick your arm up. When it is not able to contract, it can't bring your arm up. You can't lift your arm very well. If it's too tight, it can't work very well for you, and it will act as though it's paralyzed. etc., etc. So we're going to contract it and then let it go. And so you do that by bringing your arm out to the side a little bit and then slowly let it come back down to your side. So if you've got your hand up there on it, when you bring your arm out to the side a little bit, you can feel it contract and then come back in and let go. So are you feeling it contract when you take your arm out to the side? Feel it get a little more firm? And then when your arm comes in, it relaxes. Or let's say it relaxes and that's what brings your arm in. So let's do the other side. And if you want to feel it, bring your other hand up there. Find that ridge across the back, top part of your shoulder blade. Let your fingers come in front of that. Take your arm out to the side a little bit to contract your supraspinatus, and then let your arm come in and let it go. So you don't have to lift your arm very high, just a couple of inches away from the side of your body, because that's when it does its work, is when the arm comes out just a little bit, and that's going to contract your supraspinatus. Rati, can you feel your supraspinatus contracting? Good. And letting go? Good. Yeah, that's the way to release that. Now, many of us in modern society, our shoulders are coming forward quite a bit. Raise your hand if your shoulders are coming forward a little bit. We do that at computers and other work that we're doing. So are your shoulders coming forward a little bit? And if they are, please raise your hand. Good. Good. They are. I know. And we didn't mean to do it. It's just happening because we're so busy working on things in front of us. So first thing we want to do is roll your arms inward so that the backs of your hands are beside your legs. So you're rolling your arms in like a rolling pin. Like your arms are a rolling pin. And then let your arms come out to the side again. So roll your arms in, bring your shoulders to the front. So your arms are down by your sides. They don't have to be up. They're right beside your body, and you're just rolling your arms in and bringing your shoulders forward, and then slowly coming back to neutral. Roll your arms in. Let's see, not clear. What is not clear? Is the sound not clear?
Eleanor, I think the instruction is not clear. We can ask them to pin
Can you-
Linda, then they can actually see. You see, if you go to Linda's name and there'll be 3 dots there, if you click on that, you will get an option to pin. And then you can follow what Linda is doing if the instructions are not clear to you.
The hand movement was not clear.
Yeah.
Can you Rameshji, can you pin yourself so that we can
Yes.
see you while Linda is
Yep.
calling out the instruction,
Yeah.
because we
See,
can see her on the smaller screen anyway.
yeah, Ramesh, what we usually do is you demonstrate it. Would you please demonstrate it?
Yeah, okay.
Stand up and roll your arms in for us.
You keep the hands close to the body and then turn the hands inward.
Yeah.
Your shoulder should come forward,
Yeah.
and then you slowly release out of that contraction.
Ramesh, can you stand up and do it? It's a little bit easier if your arms can be down by your side. So roll your arms inward. Can you come closer to the camera, Ramesh? And that your hands don't have to be in front of your body. They can be right beside your body.
Veena ji, can you put yourself
Like
on mute so that everybody can?
Yeah, yeah. Eleanor, you have to unmute yourself. So hands can be besides the body.
Mhm.
You roll the hands inside. Your shoulders comes a little forward, and then you slowly release out of that. If I come too close, can you see my hands rolling inside now?
Your, your name, the name of your wellness
Yeah.
center is in the way.
I'm not sure how to remove that.
Well, okay, step over towards your left. So so that the camera is showing you.
Yeah.
So,
I think this is good enough.
all right.
Yeah. So you roll your hands inside, allow the shoulder to come forward, and then slowly release the rotation of the arm. The shoulder will come back to its position. So now try it.
Roll in and slowly let your arms and your shoulders go back where they belong. Rolling in and slowly coming back where they belong. Just about 3 times, and you're using several muscles of your shoulder. You're using your pec major muscles. You're using your teres major, your latissimus dorsi, and subscapularis, and so forth. All those muscles you're shortening and then allowing them to relax, and your shoulders can go back where they belong. Great. Is that clear now? Good. Okay, so that's a whole set of muscles that you have just reset. Now let's come into another couple of muscles. Put your hands on your thighs and bring just your shoulders to the front, and then slowly coming back to neutral. This is the pectoralis minor. It's a very important muscle because it is a bridge over the nerves for your arms and your hands. Let your shoulders go back where they belong and slowly coming toward the front and slowly coming back.
Can you explain one more time?
Oh, one more time. So your hands are on your thighs, on your legs, and you're just bringing your shoulders forward toward the front. And then slowly coming back. So you can put your hand up on your shoulder and bring your shoulder forward and press into your hand.
Correct.
And then slowly coming back.
Correct.
So you're providing a little resistance here, so you can contract that muscle a little more, and then you're slowly coming back. Just do it about 3 times, and you will have reset that muscle, so it's not sitting there in a shortened position. Let's do the other one. So now you're going to bring your other shoulder forward into your hand and slowly let it. So the hand is kind of resisting it. It's something for you to push against and then slowly coming back. Coming forward and push and slowly coming back. So let's do a little bit. Well, let's do a little bit with the back of your shoulder. Bring the back of your hand behind your buttock. Let it rest behind. Now bring your shoulder back toward the other shoulder and slowly let the shoulder come back to the starting point. Bring your shoulder back and coming to the starting point. Bring your shoulder back. We're doing it 3 times. There's a muscle called a rhomboid muscle. For most people, there are 2 of them on each side. Rhomboid major, rhomboid minor, and some people there's only 1. Let's do the other side. Bring the back of your hand behind your buttock and bring your shoulder back toward the other shoulder and slowly coming toward the front. You may not be able to feel it, but it is contracting. We know it's contracting because your shoulder's going back. There's no other way for it to get there. We're going to do this 3 times and it comes back. So your shoulders can be in several different positions, but there are 2 typical ones. So look at yourself in the screen and see, are your shoulders coming down from your neck? I'm sorry. Yeah, coming down from your neck to the outside of your shoulder, or is it sloping down? Or is your shoulder going in a kind of scoop? And then here are your shoulders. So you look at yourself in your screen and see, are your shoulders coming like this? Or are they kind of scooping up and then here's your shoulder? So those positions are created by each one of them by 3 different muscles. So we're going to work with all of them because everybody frequently has lots of muscles that are contracted. Because we carry a lot on our shoulders, so to speak. All righty, let's work with the ones that are sloping down first. And it doesn't matter whether your shoulders are sloping down, the muscles frequently are contracted anyway. So we worked with 2 of them already. So we're going to work with 2 others on each side. In fact, we worked with 2 of the muscles for the sloping down. One of those is the second exercise that we did. The muscle is called the levator scapula. And the second muscle for that, actually we've worked with all 3 of them now. The second one is the pec minor, where your shoulder came forward. And the third one is the rhomboids. And we've done all 3 for the sloping down shoulder. Now we're going to do the one for the shoulder that's being rotated up. And we worked with one of those, and that's the upper trapezius. Now let's work with the second one, and that is the lower trapezius. So bring your shoulder back behind you, take it down towards your opposite hip, and slowly coming back to neutral. So your shoulder is going down and back, and then coming toward the front and relax. Coming down and back toward the opposite hip and coming toward the front. So we'll work with the third muscle for that shoulder position. And that we're going to use a muscle called the serratus anterior. So bring your arm out in front of you, roll it inward and reach up. And slowly coming back. So we're going to roll it in and reach away from yours. And it is coming toward the front as you bring your arm toward the front of your body. And coming back. Sorry. Rolling in, come toward the front, not behind you. Can you see where I am, where my arm is coming toward the front of me and up toward the ceiling and coming back. So just about 3 times, roll in and reach forward, reach toward the front. Okay, let's do the other one. Put your arm out in front of you, roll it in and reach up and come back, letting go. Roll in and reach up and back, letting go. So your arm has to go out in front of you, not behind you, not off here. It's going to go in front of you. That muscle is called the serratus anterior, and it's an incredible muscle. It comes from 8 ribs in front, under your shoulder, under your arm, under your shoulder blade, attaches to the inner border of the shoulder blade. And it rotates the shoulder blade up so you can bring your arms up. Put your arms over your head now and see how it feels putting your arms over your head. So we have freed a lot of the muscles of your shoulder so that your arms can go up when you need it. So you can go, they can go down and they can go up when you need to do that. Okay, what are some of the areas you can just kind of call out? Where do you have discomforts in your body? We work some with shoulders. Where are some of the other discomforts that you have?
Sciatica.
Pardon?
Sciatica.
Sciatica. Oh, good one. Okay, what
And
else do you have?
calf muscle pain.
Calf muscle pain. Okay. What are some of the other things you all have? Yes, and you can lower back. When you're talking about lower back, where in your back is the lower back? In other words, is it below your waist? Is it below your belt line or above? Is it toward the center? It's in the lumbar, okay. Lumbar area, is it on one side or both sides? Is it on the right side or the left side of your lumbar area?
I think, Eleanor, there are a couple of people with frozen shoulders,
Okay,
then low back pain.
and where is the low back pain?
There are
Yes.
people with problems on either side. There are some on the right, some on the left.
Eleanor, I have a frozen shoulder on the left side.
Who is speaking now?
Shivani. Shivani, identify yourself.
Yeah, just a second, actually.
Oh, Shivani?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Shivani. I attend actually, I'm not able to get my camera. Yeah. Hi, Eleanor. This is Shivani. I am, just a second. I think my camera is just acting funny.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. So
Hi.
I attend Ramesh's sessions, and I have been having this frozen shoulder for quite some time now. So on the left side, it is like it has got affected, and I'm not able to raise my left arm on the front side, on the sideways, as well as on the back. I can't get my hand on my hip area, or on the, if I have to, like, lift upwards, it just goes this much, like it doesn't go complete, or on the sideways, if I have to lift, it doesn't go. So if you can, give some solution to that, that would be really helpful.
So
There are a couple of chat messages also. One is left of the sacrum. Second is SI joint pain because of inflammation on the right side.
okay, so good. But we'll work through some of those.
Also, I think arthritic stiffness on the shoulders, because of which hands cannot go up.
So when you have things like frozen shoulder, you have to make very small movements because the different muscles are contracted and they are fighting with one another. In other words, one muscle says, my direction is going forward. And another muscle says, I don't want you to go forward because it might hurt. So they're stopping each other in there. So you have to work with them gradually. It's kind of like making a clearing in the forest. You're going to clear a little bit here, clear a little bit there, and so forth. One of the leading causes of a frozen shoulder is a muscle that's underneath the shoulder blade called the subscapularis. And its movement is the first thing that, well, almost the first thing we did, where you rolled your arm inward and therefore your shoulder came forward. That uses the subscapularis. So you want to do that as far as you can go easily and slowly come out of it, because you don't want to cause more pain, because pain will cause more of the muscles to contract. And so you want to go as far as you can go easily and then slowly coming back out. You want to adduct your arm, bring your arm in towards your side and slowly come out a little bit away from your body. So you want to adduct your arm, adduct your shoulder. You want to work with the upper trapezes, which we were doing. You want to work with muscles behind the shoulder blade. And so let's do the exercises for the muscles behind the shoulder. So put your hand on the side of your body, your waist area. With your fingers toward the front. Bring your elbow behind you and then slowly come back to the starting point. Bring your hand stays on your side. You're just taking your elbow back and slowly coming forward. This is contracting the infraspinatus muscle.
Eleanor, I think we should also remind them to go only up to their zone of comfort and not go to the eye.
Yes, great point, Ramesh. Please always, when you're doing Hanna Somatics, stay in your comfort zone. Stay in what is comfortable. And in the case of something like frozen shoulder, you definitely don't want to go into a pain zone more than a little bit, because it will just tighten everything again and more. Okay, so we're doing 3 repetitions of bringing your elbow back behind you and coming back to the starting point. Now bring the back of your hand behind your waist and your fingers are pointing toward the back. Now bring your elbow toward the front and then coming back to your starting point. This is using muscles such as the teres major and the latissimus dorsi. So coming forward and coming back to your starting point. So this is working with your teres major, your latissimus dorsi, and so forth. Now, with your hands still in that position, bring your shoulder back toward the other shoulder and coming toward the front. Bring your shoulder back toward the other shoulder and coming toward the front. With your shoulder, shoulder back, coming toward the front. And then relax your arm and your shoulder. Because that's hard work, actually. So the next move, it would be the 4th move we're doing. With your elbow bent and your fingers toward the front, bring your elbow back behind you. So we are elbowing. So Ramesh, take your hand off your body. Take your hand, bend your elbow with your fingers pointing toward the front. But don't rest your hand on the side of your body. Take your arm away from your body. Take your elbow up. Yeah. Now just take your elbow back behind you, like you're elbowing something behind you. And then slowly let your elbow come towards your side. So take your elbow back behind you and coming toward the side. Again, elbow behind you and coming back toward the side. And relax your arm, relax your neck, relax anything that you have been stressing there while you were doing that. So if you reached around and feel the muscles on the back of your shoulder, you didn't feel them before, but if you reach around and feel them, they should be a little bouncy to the touch. And now they are ready to let your shoulder blade move because of needing to move your arm. So any comments about that? What did you notice as you did that?
Surely that hand went up a little more than normal, no?
No, right now it didn't.
Okay. She feels a pain at the back of her arm.
Back of her arm,
Yeah.
great. So that means that your tricep is probably tight and is probably pressing on the radial nerve that comes under the tricep muscle. So what you want to do, this move, taking your elbow back behind you, uses the tricep at the shoulder level. So bring your elbow back behind you, right? And now let your elbow come back down by your side. Take your elbow back. This is the tricep at the shoulder level. And you're voluntarily contracting it and then voluntarily letting it go. Yeah?
Eleanor, in fact, when I put my hand like this, it doesn't come straight also. Like, I don't know if you can see it. Like with the right hand, it comes along the body. But my left hand, where the frozen shoulder is, my elbow bends backwards. In the normal position also, it doesn't come forward like this. When I put my arm, my hand on my waist,
Yeah.
my elbow goes back.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, Shivani, don't put your hand on your waist.
Okay.
With this move of bring your shoulder back behind you, your hand should be free and in the air.
Okay. So like just
right.
Just go.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Going back that way. So we're contracting your tricep muscle, a muscle at the back of your arm at the shoulder level.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Now we also want to work with the tricep at the other end of it. So take your arm, take your left arm, let it come down by your side, put your right hand underneath it and press down into your hand with your left arm. So you're straightening your left arm against your other hand.
Can't see it, please. It's not clear.
So here's my left arm. Here's my other arm. Straighten your arm against your other hand and then slowly bend your arm. So straighten down. So you have to put your hand on your wrist, Shivani. Put it on the other side of your wrist. So when you straighten your arm, you're pushing down on your hand. And then slowly bend. You have to come to the other side of your wrist. Shivani, you have to come to the back side of your wrist. Yeah. No, with your hand up and your other hand underneath it. So straighten your arm into your hand and then slowly let your elbow bend. Push down into your hand and then slowly let it bend. So we're contracting the muscle at the back of your arm and then slowly letting it lengthen. So pushing down into your hand and slowly let it lengthen. just about 3 times to reset the muscle at the back of your arm, which is your tricep muscle. What happens when you turn your arm out? And you turn your arm out?
Like
Other
this?
way. Other way.
Like this?
No, other way. Yeah, like
So
that.
this hurts.
Yeah. But how is your shoulder blade? What is your shoulder blade doing?
I can't feel anything on the shoulder blade, but on the top of the shoulder, I can feel some strain. And somewhere, on the side, but the shoulder blade, I don't really feel anything
Okay.
on the shoulder blade.
Okay, so that's a good clue. So roll your arm inward. I'm rolling in. In means to come inward. So have your arm down by your side. Roll your arm inward. Bring your arm back behind you. Bring your arm back behind you. Bring your arm across the back of your body and then unwind. So you're rolling your arm in, you're taking it back behind you, you're taking it across the back of your body, you're coming out, unwinding and coming down. And we're working with the muscle the last muscle you were pointing to, which is underneath your shoulder, but it's below your shoulder blade. So we're working with a muscle called the latissimus dorsi. It's a very big back muscle, but it ends up coming under your arm and attaching on the front of your arm. So you're going to roll your arm inward, Ramesh, pull it back behind you, and then across the back of your body, and then coming out and unwind. And you all might want to do both sides. So she was working with her left side, but we should have a balance between the two sides. So you roll your arm in, take it back behind you, pull your arm across the back of your body, coming back out and unwind.
Just for the benefit of others who have put in either chat messages or informed what their problems are, we will cover most of them because we have time today as well as tomorrow. So between then, we will cover all of them. There are a couple of more messages on the chat box, Eleanor.
Okay, so we can get back to the shoulder again, but let's do a little bit for the lower part of your body. So inflammation is caused by various things, but one of the things we want to do is decrease the mechanical cause of the inflammation. So if there are contracted muscles, they may pull on their tendons, creating inflammation, creating pain, and so forth. And one of the things that causes them to do that is for them to be contracted. And when the muscle is contracted, it pulls on its attachments to your skeleton. It pulls on its tendons. So various people are sitting. I guess most of you are sitting in various places. Some of you are on the floor. Some of you are in seats. If you're on the floor, if you will roll over onto your left side, support your head with your arm or something else. If you have a little pillow, great. Otherwise, put your arm under your head. Bend your knees. Bring your knees up towards your chest. We should have about 90 degrees at the hip flexors 90 degrees at your knees. Yes, thank you, Radhi. Please, keeping your feet together, take your knee up toward the ceiling. So and then slowly bring it back down. And as you take your knee up, you are shortening the muscles of your buttocks. You're contracting them, and then slowly let your knees come back down, allowing those muscles to relax. And in the case of sciatica, sometimes what is causing that is too much contracted muscle in your buttock area, particularly a muscle called the piriformis. So be sure you go slowly down. Take your knee up toward the ceiling and you slowly bring it down to the other knee. Because if you go fast, a different part of your brain does it. Your cerebellum does it, does the movement, but it can't relax the muscles. It can move you, but it can't reset the muscles. So coming up and slowly come down. Do not come down quickly. It won't help you. So you're just taking your upper knee up toward the ceiling and then slowly let it come back down. Reach around and feel what your buttocks feel like. Are the muscles in that butt cheek there, are they firm? Are they tight? Or are they soft to the touch? Let's see what they're like. The buttock muscle on the side you were working with. Take only your upper knee up, not both of them. Just one knee goes up and slowly down. And repeat that several times. Now, taking that bent leg, lift the whole bent leg up toward the ceiling. So you're not going to keep the feet together now. Let the whole leg go up toward the ceiling, but keeping it bent. Keep it bent, take it up. Great, and slowly coming down. So you're lying on your side, lie on your side, and lift your bent leg up and slowly let it come back down. The piriformis muscle that's so often involved in sciatica really gets involved with this movement. Coming up and slowly coming back down. And then relax. Now it depends on where the tightness of your buttocks is. You may want to straighten your legs a little bit. So right now they're bent quite a bit. Straighten them a little bit, but not all the way. So go halfway with your bent leg. And then again, leave your feet together. Take your knee up toward the ceiling and slowly let it come back down. Take your knee up and slowly coming back down. Repeat that 3 times. Be sure you are lying on your side. And now straighten your legs a little more. And as your legs get straighter and straighter, the tight area comes down your buttock. And you're getting muscles farther and farther down your hip area. If you are on one side, please roll over on the other side. So now you're rolling on your right side. Leave your feet together, take your knee up toward the ceiling. And slowly leave your feet together though. We're doing something called an external rotation. Coming up, keep your feet together. Put one foot on top of the other foot. Imagine your feet are glued together. Take your knee up, good, and slowly coming down. Now, after you've done that 3 times, lift your whole bent leg up. The top leg, you're going to pick the whole bent leg up, and your feet are not going to stay together. Great. And slowly coming down. Picking up and slowly coming down. Picking up and slowly coming down. Very good. Now straighten your legs a little bit. Both legs, keeping your knees bent a little bit, but not as high as they were before. Pick your knee up toward the ceiling, leaving your feet together. Feet attached to each other. Pick your knee up toward the ceiling and slowly let it come back down. Repeat that 3 times. And slowly coming down. Great, again, and coming down. And straighten your legs a little more. So your legs are going to be almost straight, but they're still bent. And you're going to pick your knee up toward the ceiling, upper knee, and slowly let it keep your feet together. Feet together, feet on top of each other. Pick your knee up and slowly let it come back down. Okay, roll over onto your back. And let's do some movements that are very good for the SI joint, which can cause pain that goes down into your sacrum. So bring your knees apart and your feet together. So take your knees out to the side. Your feet are going to come close together. And then you're going to slide your feet away from your body. So sliding away until your legs are straight. Now bring your knees together toward the ceiling and spread your feet apart. So your knees are going to be together, your feet are going to be apart. We call it knock-kneed. Your knees are together, your feet apart, and slide down. Bring your feet together, your knees apart. Feet together and knees apart. Great, and slide down. Slide your feet down. And knees together, feet apart. Coming up, knock-kneed. Take your knees up toward the ceiling. And your feet are separated and sliding down. One more time, knees apart, feet together, slide up. And slowly coming back down. Okay, slowly roll over onto your side again. And bend your knees as you did before. Put your upper arm over the top of your head. If you're lying on your left side, your right arm will be over the top of your head. Inhale. Now we're talking to the lumbar area here. Pick your head up using the side of your body. And you can inhale as you come up. Exhale as you slowly come back down. Repeat that 2 more times, coming up and slowly down. And slowly, great. So you can rest your arm on your side now. And leaving your knees together, pick your upper foot up toward the ceiling and slowly coming back down. Pick your foot up and coming down.
Eleanor, after you have finished this, those people who cannot lie down, they are sitting on the chair. How can they do the same thing? If you can instruct, they'll benefit.
Yes, they can do that. They can do it. I'll tell you how to do it. So if you're sitting in a chair, put your arm over the top of your head towards your other ear. Take your knee. Okay, so let's say you have your right arm over the top of your head. Take your knees over toward the left a little bit. And then bring your elbow side of your body down towards your hip and pick your hip up toward your elbow. And then slowly coming back towards the center. All of these exercises can be done sitting in a chair. So you're bringing your elbow side of your body towards your hip on that side, pick your hip up and slowly come back toward the center again. Elbow side of your body coming towards your hip, pick your hip up toward the, keep your foot on the floor. Your foot's going to be on the floor. You're just picking your hip up and coming down. Now take your,
I'll mute them, Eleanor.
I'm sorry, what?
I think somebody's mic is on. I'll mute everybody. You unmute yourself.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so let's do the other one. Put your left arm over the top of your head. Now you're going to lean over toward the left and pick your left hip up off the chair and coming back toward the center. Tilt over toward the left, your left hip goes up, coming back down. So you're shortening the muscles on the side of your body here and then allowing them to lengthen. Leaning over, take your hip up and slowly come back toward the center. So while we're here in the chair, you can do this lying down, you can do it in a chair. We're going to work with a muscle called the psoas muscle. It's an important flexor of your hips, such as if you are sitting down in a chair, the psoas helps you sit in the chair, helps you bend and at the hips and bring your thigh up towards your chest. You're sitting in the chair. So sitting in the chair, lift your, let's say your right leg, lift it up a couple of inches and slowly let it come back down. So So we're in a chair now. If you're lying on the floor, bend your right leg, your left leg is going to be straight, and pick your leg up toward the ceiling a couple of inches, the straight leg, and slowly let it come back down. So don't lift it very high because we're trying to target the psoas muscle. So just lift a couple of inches and slowly coming down. And after you've done it 3 times, slowly change sides. And bend your left leg. And you're going to pick up your right leg a couple of inches and slowly coming back down. Coming up and slowly coming down. So if you're sitting, you're just picking your knee up a couple of inches. If you're lying down, you're picking your whole leg up a couple of inches and slowly coming down. Now, as we reset these muscles, they get good circulation and they get a good blood supply. They get the fluids they need, the muscles get the fluids they need, they get the oxygen they need, they get the nutrition they need, they get rid of their byproducts of function so they're not becoming more toxic. And it's good for all your muscles and your whole circulatory system. Okay, while we're in this position, talking about the lumbar area, bend your left leg, keep your right leg straight, and now take your hip up towards your armpit. Slide your hip up towards your armpit, and then slowly let your hip go back down the floor. Bring your hip up towards your armpit, and slowly let it come away. Hip up towards your armpit and slowly coming back down. Now, slide your leg out to the side. Take it away from being right under your body. You're going to keep it straight, but take it out to the side. So your leg is straight. Slide it away from the midline. So it's going out at an angle to your body. Now in that position, slide your hip up towards your armpit again. So we're working with a muscle called the quadratus lumborum, and it has 2 sets of fibers. Some fibers go up to the last rib, some fibers go toward the spine. So when your leg is straight, you're going to work with the fibers that go up to the last rib. And when your leg's out to the side, you're working with the fibers that go in toward the spine. So keep your leg on the floor. You're just sliding your hip up toward your chest. And just to say, dogs love it when we do these exercises. They want to get as close as possible because this is their kind of activity. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you. We're saying thank you so much for the repetition for the SI joint and really feeling better in relaxation of pain. Yes, it's when we reset the muscles, pain frequently disappears, and so does stiffness. So please do this on both sides. If you did that on your right side, please change legs. And first of all, you're going to slide your hip up towards your armpit with your leg coming straight down from your body. And then you're going to slide your leg out to the side and do the same thing, sliding your hip up towards your armpit. And we're working with a very important muscle called the quadratus lumborum. And it does hip hiking when you're walking. Okay, how about roll over onto your left side, bend your knees, straighten your top leg down from your body. So straight, your legs are bent, but now straighten the top leg. And you are lying on your side. And you're going to lift that top leg up toward the ceiling. One leg is bent, one leg is straight. Go up as high as you can go easily. Doesn't have to be very high. If you go too high, you'll use other muscles to do it. So we're going to do it 3 times. Inhale, lifting up toward the ceiling. Exhale, coming down toward the floor. Great. Let's do it again. Lifting up. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, coming down. Good. Lifting up and coming down. So take that same leg and roll it in toward the floor. Let it come down toward the floor. Roll it out and pick it up. Roll it in. Great. Your toes are going to go toward the floor. Roll out and pick it up. Roll in, coming down toward the floor. Roll out, picking up. We're going to go the other direction. Now, let your leg come down. Roll your leg out and pick it up. Your toes going toward the ceiling. And then roll your leg in. Roll out, picking up. And rolling in. Roll out, picking up. And coming in. And relax your leg. And slowly roll over on the other side. That was really very good. So now you're on your other side. You're going to bend your legs. So your leg that's on the floor is going to be bent to kind of support you, to help you balance. And your upper leg is going to be straight. Lift your upper leg up toward the ceiling and slowly let it come back down. Repeat that 2 more times. Go slow though, because slow is what makes the effect. Go fast, the cerebellum does it. It's a little brain at the back of your brain, and it cannot reset the muscles. Okay, after we've done it 3 times, pick your leg up and inhale and let it roll inward and then rolling back out again. Roll it in and rolling back out. Roll in and rolling back out. And relax. Now let's go the other way. Roll your leg out and lift up. Roll in, coming down. Roll out, picking up. Roll in, coming down. Roll out, picking up. Roll in, coming down. And relax your legs. Okay, while you're lying there, why don't you roll over on your back? We'll do a little bit of the cat stretch. Bend your knees. Inhale and arch your back. That is, pick your back up off the floor. Exhale, let it come back down. If you are sitting, please do the same thing. Inhale and arch your back. Exhale, let your back come back. Inhale and arch. Exhale, coming back. Let's do that 5 times slowly. Inhale and arch. Exhale, coming back. Keep your buttocks on the floor. We're just picking your back up. 5 times slowly. Pick your back up. Let your back come back down. And after you've done it, don't pick your buttocks up. You're just going to pick your back up. Leave your buttocks on the floor. But I have to say, let's do the lift the buttocks one up, which it does some wonderful things for other parts of your pelvis. So pick your buttocks up and then slowly come back down to the floor. And we'll repeat that 3 times. Your knees are bent, pick your buttocks up toward the ceiling and slowly coming back down. So in this work, it's the slow coming down that is the most important part. Picking up and then slowly coming back down. So if you're sitting, let's work with calf muscles a little bit. So if you are sitting in a chair, this is what you're going to do. And then I'll talk about what you do if you're lying on the floor. You're sitting in a chair, pick your heel, leave the front of your foot on the floor, pick your heel up, and slowly let it come back down. You are contracting the soleus muscle, and slowly let your heel come back down. You're picking your heel up off the floor and slowly let it come back down to the floor. And then do the other side. So the question is, can you do both at the same time? Yes, but you won't have quite the same strength of the effect because your brain is spreading its attention. So coming up and slowly coming back down. Slowly straighten your legs. If you want to keep one of them bent and one of them straight, you can do that too. So now bring the front of your foot down toward the floor and slowly pick it back up. So we are contracting a special muscle called gastrocnemius that points your toe and then slowly coming back out of that position. Bring your toes down toward the floor and then take your toes up toward the ceiling and repeat that 3 times. Now this works especially well if you're lying on a bed with your feet off the end of the bed or the side of the bed, because there's room to move and you're working with gravity. But when you're lying down, if you were sitting in a chair, you have to put your foot quite out toward the front, because this muscle releases best when it is straight, when the leg is straight. But you can make a little progress without it being straight. I mean, without you having your leg straight off the side of the bed. So be sure you do both sides. If you did the right foot and thigh and calf on that side, do it on the other side. You're going to take the ball of your foot or the toes of your foot and bring them toward the floor, and then slowly let go of that. So muscles are tight because they're getting messages too tight. So if you change the messages, then they can relax. So lying on your back, bend your knees. Let's work with your thighs, the front of your legs here. Bend your knees and put your right leg over, all the way over the top of the left knee. You're going to have your knees bent. You're going to have your left leg is coming across, or your right leg is coming across your left leg and going all the way across. So it's back of your knee on top of the knee. Go all the way across. Because we're going to straighten your leg and then slowly let it come back down. We're working with the muscles at the front of your legs, your thighs. So straighten your upper leg and then slowly let it come back down 3 times. Now turn your foot in. Bring your toes towards your other leg and straighten your leg. And we are working with the outside of your thigh, the vastus lateralis, and coming down. You're going to shorten it and slowly relax it. Great. And now turn your foot out. Remember, we want to rest your leg on the other leg. Don't just hold it up in the air. Help it by putting your other bent knee underneath it. So you're doing this with your foot in 3 different positions. 1 neutral, 1 turned inward, 1 turned out. And you're doing 3 repetitions of each of those. So after you've done 3 repetitions of that, you can change sides. Bend your knees and put your left leg on top of your right leg. To go all the way over, so your leg is crossing over the other leg. Good, good. Now straighten your leg, so you're tightening your quad, and slowly let your leg bend. Repeat that 2 more times. Straighten and slowly let it bend. And straighten and let it bend. Great. So your foot was neutral there. Now be sure you've got both legs bent and you've got one leg on top of the other leg. If you try to do it without supporting your leg, it's a lot of work. Okay, so you did it with your foot neutral. Now turn your foot inward and pick your leg up. And slowly coming back down. And repeat that again. Straighten that leg with the foot turned in and slowly let your leg bend. And straighten and slowly let your leg bend. And now let's turn your foot out and straighten your leg and slowly let your leg bend. And if you get tired anywhere along the way, just rest. Stop doing it, rest. If you feel like doing a little more, do a little more. So if you've done 3 repetitions in each of those positions, when you say you're getting a cramp on back, does that mean on the back of your leg or on the back of your back? Say, and getting a cramp on back instead. So if you're getting a cramp,
and it was not in this one. It was when I was pulling my hip up to my armpit. In that one, I was getting a cramp. So I wanted.
Okay. So what that means is that you have a tight muscle there that needs to be released.
Yeah. And in this one, after I have done my knee stretches, it's like my knee is on fire. It's like I'm feeling so much of heat in my knee.
Yeah, because you've been using it. So, and it will go away. That feeling will go away. So let's work with the muscles on the back of your legs. Are you up to that? Can you lie down on your stomach? And you can keep your head in the middle if you want to, as you lie down on your stomach. Now we're going to work with our hamstrings. You can do this a little bit sitting in a chair, but it's a little harder to do that. So lying on your stomach, bend your right leg, and then slowly straighten your leg. Now we're working with your hamstrings, all of them all together. So you bend your knee, and then you're going to slowly straighten your leg, letting your foot come down to the floor. And repeat that 3 times. So you have contracted all your hamstrings and then you're decontracting them. So after you've done that 3 times, then bring your lower leg out to the side and turn your foot in toward the other leg. So you're going to bend your knee, take your lower leg out to the side. Right, turn your foot inward. So your foot's going to go out to the side, away from the other leg. One leg is straight, one leg is bent. And you're taking your lower leg out to the side, and your foot is turning in. And then slowly let your foot go back down to the floor. And do that 2 more times. Bend your knee, take your lower leg out to the side, turn your foot in, and slowly take your foot back down to the floor. So 3 times. Bend your knee, take your lower leg out to the side, turn your foot, the same leg. It's the same leg that you bent. You're going to take the lower leg out to the side, and the foot turns in. And slowly let your foot come back down. And now you're going to bend your knee, take your lower leg in toward the other leg, bring your foot over toward the other leg, and turn your foot. So now you're going to turn your foot outward. So 1, you bent your knee, you took your lower leg out to the side, turn your foot inward. This one, you're going to bend your knee, take your lower leg in, and turn your foot out.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to understand this one at all.
Okay, you're going to bend your knee, and let's imagine this is my leg, and I'm going to bend my knee, and I'm going to take my lower leg out to the side, and I'm going to turn my foot in, and I'm going to straighten my leg. So I'm going to bend my knee, take the lower leg out to the side, turn my foot in, and then slowly straighten my leg. And then you're going to do it the other way. Bend your knee, take your
Only,
lower leg in, turn your foot out, and slowly straighten. What?
only the lower leg is foot is turning in and out.
I'm sorry, what?
Only
Yes.
the lower leg foot is turning in and out.
Yes, only the lower leg, because we're dealing with the hamstring.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And the hamstrings come from the buttock. 2 of them attach on the inside of the knee. 1 of them attaches on the outside of the knee. Good, now no, you'd have to move your other leg. Don't move only the leg that's bending. So the lower leg goes in, the foot turns out, and slowly straighten your leg. Slowly straighten the leg that you bent. Great. Okay, bend your knee. Nope, the same one. Same leg. Take your lower leg out to the side. No, not your other leg. Not your other leg. The same leg that you bent we're doing everything with 1 leg right now. Okay, so if your lower leg is going in, your foot turns out. If your lower leg is going out, your foot turns in. And then slowly straighten your leg. So shorten the hamstring, and then we slowly lengthen the hamstring. We're working with one leg only here. And then we're going to work with the other leg, but right now we're only working with one leg. Okay, I think you're ready to change legs. There. No, don't take that leg out to the side. Don't move that leg. You're only working with one leg at a time. And slowly let your legs straighten. Now, we're shortening the hamstrings and then letting the hamstrings lengthen. So how about bending your other leg now, your left leg? Okay, take your lower leg in toward the other leg. Turn your foot out. Don't move your other leg. Okay, now slowly straighten your leg. Great. Bend your knee. Bend that same knee. Take your lower leg out to the side. No, don't move your other leg. Don't move your other leg. You're just working with one leg here. Take your lower leg out to the side now and turn your foot in and slowly straighten your leg. Same leg, slowly straighten. And so when you bend your knee and you turn your foot, take your lower leg in to the other leg and turn your foot out, you're contracting particular hamstrings. And then when you slowly come out of it, you're decontracting, you're relaxing those hamstrings. So
I think, Eleanor, we can stop the practices here and open for comments and questions and then continue.
Yes, but Ramesh, they need to do cat stretch number 4 now.
Yeah.
You want to lead them in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So lie on your back, bend your knees, bring your right hand under your head. Now breathe in and arch your lower belt line. Your tailbone will press on the ground. As you breathe out, flatten the lower back and then pick your head and elbow up and the opposite knee will come towards your chest. Aim your elbow towards the opposite knee. You're lying on your back, right hand under the head. After you are flattened the back, you will come up, aiming your right elbow towards your left knee. And then slowly release out of that contraction. Relax a little bit, wait for the muscles to go back to lower resting tone. And then repeat, breathing in, arch your lower back. Breathing out, flatten the lower back. And then pick your head up, aim your elbow towards the opposite knee. Very slowly come out of that contraction. And after you have rested back, wait for a couple of minutes. Let the muscles go to a lower resting tone. And the last round on that side. Breathe in, arch your lower back. Breathe out, flatten the lower back. And then relax. Relax. Allow the body to completely experience what you've done. And then we will repeat on the other side. So you will bring your left hand under your head, right hand by the side. Breathe in and arch your lower back. As you breathe out, you will pick your head up, your left elbow aiming towards the right knee as you pick your right knee towards your chest. Slowly release. After you release, wait for the muscles to experience the relaxation. And when you're ready, you will repeat the second round. When you come back slowly. Ask yourself, can I slower the pace at which I release? Reduce the speed. Experience a slow relaxation as you come out of the contraction. Wait for some time to let the muscle experience the relaxation. And finally, last round on your own pace. Once you've completed the last round, slowly stretch your legs back. Wait for a minute after you've stretched your legs out. And then, after you've experienced that relaxation, very slowly turn to one side. Take the support of your hands and sit up. So while we'll continue some of these practices, particularly requests that has come in which we have not covered today will be taken up tomorrow. Areas of your body which we have not worked out tomorrow, we'll try and cover tomorrow. Meanwhile, we throw open for you to ask questions, or if you want to make any comments, or you have experienced something that you want to share, you're free to do so. So you can unmute yourself and speak. You can put your thumbs up, we'll call your name out, and then you can share. Yeah, Rati.
Okay. This was very, very extremely relaxing for me. And but offers BP throughout, especially doing the lower body was and my shoulder have come back like in a slope because they were scooped, like you said, that check
Yes.
your shoulder whether they were scooped or sloping. So I'm feeling that my shoulder have come more like sloping and there is less of a scoop in my shoulder. So that's the first thing that I've experienced over here. And my lower body was not painful, but uh, it was emotional rather than painful for me. So that is one thing. And the second thing I want to ask you, I have one young girl of 32 years. She's got stenosis of the spinal column. Spinal column is shrinking. And I have one young boy, he's 28, I think, and he's got this thing, ankylosing spondylosis. So can that be reversed, or we can just help in
I
both the
think
cases?
that,
I just want to know that.
yeah,
Thank
in
you.
the case of ankylosing spondylitis, it's very important to keep all the muscles as flexible as possible because there is a tendency for the spine to become more and more rigid. But if you can keep everything more flexible and moving more easily, it is not as much of an issue as it would be if you don't do that. So it can help. It might even keep it from progressing. And what was the issue of the young woman?
He has stenosis of the spine. Her spinal column is kind of just going on shrinking. So she experiences a lot of back pain, but it's kind of like a little shifting kind of pain. But and so doctor has told her just do yoga, and she's of course very stressed out because of that. So there's no other particular symptoms that she's getting except for the lower back problem.
So the thing is, with such a condition, it's really important to keep the muscles from being too contracted because it compresses the body and makes there less room for the spinal cord to run through the vertebrae. So the yoga is a good suggestion, but to add somatics to it so that the yoga contributes to flexibility and not to increase contraction. So both of those situations can be helped by somatic work.
So what we did today for the lower body, can we apply that for that younger?
Absolutely.
Okay, right. Thank you so much.
But for both of them, full body work would be really valuable. Ranu?
Yeah, it was a good, interesting session, but at the end of it, I'm feeling a stretch right from here towards the upper side of chest and my arm. I mean, now it is slightly relaxing, but in the beginning, when I think Rati was talking, it was very, even now it is slightly acute, but it is relaxing now.
Good.
Why that?
Good. So you might want to turn your head away from that side, tilt your head toward that side, put your hand up against the side of your head, and put your hand on the very side of your head. So you're coming forward in the line with the muscle that was tight, and then slowly coming out of it. So coming forward and then slowly coming out of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and letting it go there. Did that help a little bit?
Yes, quite a lot, in fact.
Oh, good. Good. Great. Glad you
Hello,
spoke.
good day. I'm Ashok Kumla, and I have a right bow knee. It doesn't pain, but when I walk, you can feel the change. So is there a solution for somatic on this?
I'm not quite understanding what you're saying is going on.
I'm Ashok Kumla, and my right knee is slightly bowed. So when I walk, I can see the difference. The knee does not pain, but then it's slightly bowed. So is there a solution for with somatic?
Yes, yes, because depending on what's going on, if your leg is a little bit externally rotated, it will be a little, your leg will be a little bowed. Or if your leg is rotated inward and your thigh is too tight, it will also be a little bowed. So depending on which of those is going on, Ramesh can help you figure it out and release the muscles that are contributing to it. But that's good to know, because when your legs are a little bit imbalanced, there's more wear and tear on the joint, like the knee joint.
At this stage, I'm not feeling any pain, but I can see the knee a little bowed.
So the thing is, you want to decrease that as much as you can, because it will be more wear and tear on your knee over time. So Ramesh can help you figure out which of those we're dealing with and help you reset the muscles that are contributing to that.
Right. Okay, thank you. I'll meet Ramesh and get it done. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we'll leave the rest of the questions for tomorrow. We'll leave a longer time for questions and answers tomorrow.
That will be really great.
Yeah, so we'll now start the closure. So sit in a closed meditative position, keep your eyes closed. Get ready to chant mantra Om 3 times. Take a deep breath in. Om.
Oh.
Shanti mantras. Asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Rub your hands and then keep them on your eyes. Feel the warmth flowing in from the palm into the eyes. Then slowly release your hands. Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat. So thank you all of you for joining us for this session. See you all tomorrow same time. And as promised, we will leave a longer time tomorrow for question answers, for your doubts, for your clarifications. And Eleanor will try and cover the areas we did not cover today when we do it tomorrow. So see you all. And once again, thank you, Eleanor, for the time taken and for the efforts that you're putting in to try and spread the Hanna Somatics message in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. See you all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.